Hey guys, what's going on, friends and family? My name's Skylent. Let's do a top 10. This isn't going to be my top 10, actually. This is going to be the highest reviewed MMO games on Steam. I took the user-defined tag of MMO, then filtered out the games that really weren't MMOs, and I made sure to get the actual games. I saw their percentage of reviews, which is actually pretty easy because you can just filter the searches from that. And there we go. That's the list I got. I'm going to be talking about these games, and I think it's a good excuse to just kind of chat about these different MMOs and also talk about review scores and how sometimes they're not really accurate and stuff like that. So hey, if you want to have that dialogue, meet us in the comments below and let's have some fun with the video. Alright guys, starting the list, we have Elder Scrolls Online, Tamriel Unlimited here for the Steam. That's what you want to search for if you want to find the reviews here. Pretty positively reviewed. I think it's a little bit lesser reviewed because of kind of like where it came from, where it launched from. It wasn't super duper fantastic, but here on Steam, I think it had, some good momentum. It had a good start-ish, and then of course with the expansions and everything, I think a lot of websites are considering it the best MMO to play or get into at the moment. One of the most improved MMOs, absolutely. So fantastic stuff. Now, wasn't always the case. So overall reviews, going to be up and down. And also the fact that I think Elder Scrolls is a franchise that we know, single-player game that plays a certain way, and when people come to this game, they're maybe expecting more of that, or maybe they're wanting more MMO, and they kind of get, a little mix and bagged of Elder Scrolls generally, and then also MMO content. In the end, regardless though, as an MMO, it is very different from any other MMO. It's got a lot of really cool stuff that I really enjoy, and I think more people should be trying it out. But if you love Elder Scrolls, I wonder, how do you feel about this? Let me know, guys. Is this really a good Elder Scrolls game, or is it just a good MMO? Alright guys, next up on the list, number 9 for highest reviewed MMO on Steam is going to be Tera, which I thought would be higher, but I know Tera has some issues, some questionable content in it as well, with the focus on putting classes on the lolly race, which is weird. I kind of wish it was more spread out, but regardless, Tera is an interesting game. Its end game is really the true game of it. I played the Lancer, and the dungeons kicked my booty. It was a tremendous amount of fun, and I thought the graphics were okay-ish. But in the end, there's just a lot of weird stuff in the game. Like, a lot of monsters and things just don't make sense. It's just random, just mythological stuff. I don't know, the story was silly and weird. At the end game, it started to kind of become interesting, but basically, the entire questing, the early game, and the world setting of Tera, it has no intrigue whatsoever. It's just a silly game. Just take it as a super cheesy, hyper-sexualized to an extent, MMORPG. Very much a game. It knows it's a video game, and as long as you're aware it's a video game and try not to be too immersed, you're actually going to have fun. Now, it's supposed to have super action combat. With some classes, it kind of feels pretty good, but don't expect it's going to be truly like a Dark Souls or a proper action RPG. It's actiony, especially for an MMO. But yeah, also it's pretty dated. It's optimization issues. There's been bugs. Yeah, so there's reasons why the reviews have been bogged down, but still, it's one of the most popular MMO on Steam. And it's actually pretty okay. I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. It's pretty okay. All right, next up, guys, we got Final Fantasy XIV coming in at number 8. I thought this would be higher, but you gotta imagine, it's Steam users. A lot of people who have Steam are kind of PC master racers, and so, yeah, here I am self-admitting I'm kind of one of those people. So I think this isn't really up for debate, but Final Fantasy XIV, to me, was very clearly designed for PS4. Well, really PS3, if I'm not mistaken, right? So the early game and the way the story is structured and the way the core combat operates is super not PC, super not fast, super not that complex, and I heard that it actually gets a ridiculous endgame. I saw the videos. I actually really do enjoy watching streams of this, but in the end, it's not what a PC, I think, MMO player was really craving. It's still a decent game, I think, but man, does that early game freaking suck. So I think a lot of people who were, bought this game for the first month and really try to play it, I think they were bogged down, and that's why the reviews are a little bit lower. But I do believe that the polish is there. The production value is pretty freaking high. The graphics, fantastic, and it's still a Final Fantasy game, though, hey, that didn't save the first incarnation of this. It's still a big franchise with a big user base that wants this to succeed, so I don't know. Does it deserve to be this low on the list, or does it deserve to be higher? Let me know, guys, because I am super biased as, again, a PC Master Racer. Okay, next on the list, we have Lord of the Rings Online. Now, I have to really freaking level with you dudes, okay? I put this game in a lot of top 10s, very specific top 10s, like top 10 RPG MMO, like one of the better MMOs to, role play in. It's very specific to literally Lord of the Rings, a specific niche, and it plays a very specific way. But whenever I tried to play this game, I very quickly realized I was not a part of this niche. I basically, first impressions, that was it. I rage quit a first impressions because it really wasn't for me. I could still understand that some people would like this game, and that's why I think it's actually higher than other titles. And this is kind of a problem with reviews, especially games that I've reviewed in the past tend to be games that are targeted toward a very specific niche. And then, people who happen to review and play those games tend to really like those games, and they kind of bypass a lot of faults. Like, let's admit it, guys. Lord of the Rings Online, immediately, as soon as before you even log into the game, has some faults. It has some issues you have to stumble over. But this is still a game that really fills something that players can't get anywhere else. And there's a lot of games like that. I know I specifically review those kind of games, but it's just really hard to get people to admit faults with these games. So you're going to get people who just constantly, praise it, review it, and you really only get the attention of people who like these kind of games. So Lord of the Rings Online, basically, the people who review it are the ones who would most likely enjoy it regardless. So that's kind of why it's a little bit higher. Next up, we have Anarchy Online, which I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. Literally, I'm recording this and I don't edit these. These are just completely ranted because I like to talk about what I know about. But since this isn't my personal list, I'm actually going to have to search this up. So I'm literally typing it in right now, looking into Steam. Anarchy Online. Join humanity nearly 30,000 years in the future of the world, perpetual conflict and scientific marvel. It's got 66 very positive reviews, so that's interesting. I don't even know if I should have really included this on the list, but I just wanted to include it because I've never heard of this game. It actually sounds interesting. There's a bit of intrigue there, but reviews, if you just go based off of, the percentage of good reviews, this is probably a bad game. This might actually legitimately be a bad game. Though as I'm looking through the screenshots, it looks pretty ridiculous. I do believe that the number of reviews should have some weight, because you might go into this and realize, oh, only a very specific type of person would play this game and then would review the game, and that's why it has such high ratings, when really, yeah. And this is actually where I kind of want to translate that, because it's not just users who happen to leave user reviews that actually happens with. Professional critics and reviewers also do the same thing. They only review certain kinds of games. Have you noticed that? All right, so next up we have Foxhole. A disclaimer here, though. I do know that Foxhole, or at least just recently, its current state isn't technically an MMO, and I got this from the developers themselves. Whenever I played back in, I don't even know what you would call it, it was like pre-alpha. They had like a little open server. I joined it. It was an open world kind of thing. It was an open server. It was like Planetside II, but top down, and also historical, I guess, World War I or World War II. It was interesting. It was fun. I put it in some top 10s, but apparently it's changed since then. So I do got to give that disclaimer. But Foxhole is another one of those super niche games where it's like, man, only a specific type of person would play this game, and so that's what, they review it, and that's why it's got high percentage reviews, once again. But anyways, I do actually want to promote Foxhole, and apparently it is getting an update to MMOify it. So it's pretty cool. The developers admitted, hey, it's not an MMO right now. We changed around some things, but we are going to add on some new stuff, and then it will become MMOified. So just keep that in mind. I know some people, they really like the specific, genre proper names. I'm definitely one of those people. So it would kind of suck to say, look at this game and it looks like an MMO. It's called an MMO in its title, and then you get in and it's not an MMO. I understand that. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, it's still another niche, weird game, but I think it's cool. Next up on our list, now that we're past the halfway point, we have Realm of the Mad God. This is a popular game. It actually went through some ups and downs with the reviews. I know I've checked on it every once in a while to see, should I put it in some top 10, should I not? I jumped in occasionally, I look at the reviews to see what other critics are saying. Really, critics kind of forgot about this game, but I don't know why, because it's actually, I think, maybe better than ever. There's a lot more content, and I think maybe it was a different publisher. Something happened. They put some stuff in the store, people didn't like it, but in the end now, it seems like everyone's really having fun with the game. So you can play this game instantaneously. It downloads in a second. I believe you can still play it in the browser. It's a really cute, very original idea, concept of a bullet hell roguelite MMO. And this was really before roguelite was a very popular term, I believe. So Realm of the Mad God, it looks cheesy. It is cheesy, but it's actually legit fun. I mean, especially just to jump in every once in a while. You know, every week or so, month or so. Hey, if you haven't played in a year, come back in. Realm of the Mad God is it's still kicking. It's pretty cool. So yeah, it definitely deserves its high marks. Plus, it does actually have a lot of reviews, so there's some extra little weight there. Okay, coming up, we have Planetside 2 and number 3. Planetside 2, I'm surprised actually made it so high on the list. You see, Planetside 2 has some debatable features. I think its monetization isn't the best. Daybreak Games or Sony Online Entertainment, as it used to be, didn't always have the best concepts when it came to monetization. I felt like they were kind of money grubby, but then again, you could compare that to World of Tanks and be completely relieved. So yeah, there's that. Planetside 2 overall, I guess think something like a sci-fi Battlefield, except no limits on the player cap. Like, there's hundreds of players, if I'm not mistaken, in any one zone. It's ridiculous. It's a true, proper MMO FPS. There's so many MMO games that call themselves MMO FPS, but they're still 16-player lobbies. Planetside 2 ain't bullshitting, guys. It is open world, massive scale combat. It is truly massive, truly an MMO. It's freaking fantastic. But it doesn't run that great. It doesn't look that great either. Sometimes it can look beautiful, sometimes it really doesn't. It can feel and look dated occasionally. So I think it's really hit or miss for a lot of different players and a lot of different machines. But all in all, I guess the people who play these kind of games, well, I actually, there really isn't any other game like this, is there? Anyways, Planetside 2, I guess because of being so original and the fact that it does at least run, you know, it does provide that awesome experience consistently, I guess it deserves its high marks, high reviews. Yeah. Now, number 2 is going to be very much up for debate here. I didn't know if I wanted to include this or not because I really wanted to find specifically proper MMOs, but I'm going to put VRChat here, and that's because of the potential VRChat has to be an MMO. Like I actually already mentioned with Foxhole, a game can transition from being not an MMO to an MMO by adding in the literal massive components, you know, that massive game mode or that massive interconnection. And VRChat almost has that. And it's actually debatable if VRChat is even a video game, but it might be possible for somebody to create, hundreds of players or at least 100-player server. They can make it a game itself. They might even be able to create a connection of servers that actually have save stuff, content, or I don't know how they would do it, but I think there is potential for VRChat to be considered an MMO. I mean, you can jump from server to server, you can have social interactions, you can even kind of make up your own games. You can play hide and seek in the different servers if you want to even. There's a couple of different things you can do in VRChat. I know it's debatable if it's a game or not, but I think it absolutely has the potential to be a really fun MMO. We just got to see what people come up with the servers and the little mini games that can happen from here, and the features that also get added to the base game. Anyways, it's highly reviewed, even though it doesn't run fantastically, but it's such a weird experience. If you haven't seen my videos on it, hopefully you've seen some of the others. Do you know the way? It's so funny. The cool interactions that you have with this. So yeah, VRChat, it's free to play. You don't need a VR headset. Applause. It really is deserved there. So many more VR games that need that. But yeah, VRChat, jump in. It's good stuff. And number 1, the highest reviewed MMO on Steam is going to be Screeps, apparently, which I wasn't ready for. I knew it was a niche game, but I think this is a game that's going to really be the example of why percentage reviews are basically bogus. Now, I've put Screeps in a lot of top 10s, and that's because it's straight up the most unique MMO almost ever. It is a true real-time strategy game where you program your little bots to build and destroy, and you program your army as you try to conquer the world. So Screeps is freaking ingenious when it comes to that. And very specific people are going to be playing Screeps, and so, yeah, again, they're going to like the game because it's original. No other game's going to give them that experience. They're going to highly review it, or they're going to give it a thumbs up, and it's going to have the highest percentage of reviews. So that's going to be kind of the issue with this list. I'm not saying any of these games are bad or truly undeserving of being played, maybe Anarchy Online, but what I am going to say is that a lot of games are just meant for very specific types of people. And it's almost impossible to know if you are that people until you do play the game. So reviews, in a way, are almost useless. And yes, that's even past user reviews. Like I said previously, some like IGN or GameSpot or what have you, some of these big outlets only look at certain games because they know it'll get views. There's lots of games that are out here that are interesting and fun. So yeah, I listed 10 of them here that you might be thinking, oh, well, Lord of the Rings Online is shit. Hey, I kind of think the same way, but there's honestly, I've already put in other top 10s, and a lot of these games I put in lots of top 10s, even if they're not the best game for everyone, there's still something special in these games. So at the same time, while I'm saying that the reviews are useless, I'm also saying that they can be used as a tool, as a component to find new games and enjoy them. You know, it's kind of like the first step. So you find games like Screeps, and then you're gonna watch videos, and you watch streams, and you're gonna do a little bit more research. The reviews should not be the final, you know, hey, that's all I need. And really, if you just watch a single stream, you should look a little bit deeper as well. There's always more to things. And I just want you guys to save as much time and money as possible so you can really just spend most of your time enjoying stuff. So yeah, Screeps, VRChat, Planetside II, Realm of the Mad God, Foxhole, Anarchy Online, Lord of the Rings Online, Final Fantasy XIV, Tera, Elder Scrolls Online. In every video I've ever mentioned on all these games, I'm pretty sure I've said a lot of negative things, but I've also said a lot of positive things because people in games and stuff in things can be deeper. You know, they can actually have layers to them. And there's weird experiences and perspectives to be seen and had, and I just hope you guys are aware of that. So I made this video. Here it is, Stuff and Things. How do you feel? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, friends and family. Hope you had fun. My name's Skylent, and I'll see you in the next one.